Yeah, man, it's the fucking close your mouth broadcast. You already know what the fuck is going on, bro. Fucking smash that goddamn fucking like button, bro. We're really fucking doing it, man. We're back here with another fucking music review, bro. Honestly, and I'm with my two fucking bro hosts.
What's up? It's Paul.
What's up? It's Zach, bro.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, let's cut that shit. Let's get back into it. We're here with the weekend After Hours album fucking review, bro. But on some real shit. This is Weeknd's fifth studio album, from the Weeknd, Abel, whatever you want to call him. Yeah, so I'm just gonna get you guys initial thoughts coming into this project. You guys want me to start, or who wants to take it away?
I can start. I was pretty super excited for this. Um, Freaking just being a fan of The Weeknd since like 2012 when he dropped Trilogy. So I mean, like through his projects, I always feel like he always progressed, and I've always been like a fan of each thing that he dropped. So I mean, yeah. What you got?
Yeah, I could definitely second that. I got put onto The Weeknd a little bit later. I think, I'm
Which
trying to
album?
think. 2014, I got put onto him. Someone kind of tried to put me onto the trilogy, but then I
Oh,
heard
okay.
that the trilogy actually came from three separate mixtapes of his, which was I think House of Balloons, Thursday, and then Echoes
Mm-hmm.
of Silence. I listened to all three of those
Yep.
in succession, bro, and I was like, oh, I'm kind of late on this shit. Like, he was kind of trendy for a big while, and like back in those days, I was like, oh, this motherfucker's mad trendy. Like, I don't want to listen to this shit. Like
Yeah.
everyone's on him, but like I was being an idiot, man. He definitely has good music out, and yeah, man, the Weeknd got them tunes, bro, for the playlist. If you know what I'm talking about, man. I've crushed many a spine to Trilogy, but on some real shit, man. I was looking forward to this album. This was I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I listen to every single thing that the Weeknd drops, but
Mm-hmm.
I do respect his artistry. Like I said, lot of lot of spine crushing to the Weeknd,
Mm-hmm.
and just the music, and also he usually drops like a good single like here and there, and like I usually listen to
Yeah.
his albums a little bit later rather than get them put onto them immediately.
Yeah.
But what about you, Zach? I know you said previously that you don't usually listen to the Weeknd.
I wasn't really excited to listen to this album, but I didn't really have high expectations for the album, but I was impressed.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't, the biggest fan of Starboy. I mean, I listened to it and I was like,
You didn't like Starboy?
I was, I
I
was,
didn't
I
like
was,
that shit either.
Really?
I was,
Oh man.
I wasn't too crazy for it. I mean, don't get me wrong, like it is a good album, but I wasn't like, like I felt like motherfuckers were doing backflips for that shit, and I was just listening to it. I'm like, ah, this is solid, but like I'm not the super, because I was one of those people when it came to the Weekend. I was like, nah, man, I only like when the Weekend's on that, you know, just sniff the line off her. And just waking up after a hangover type vibe, and like the more the low, I don't want to say like lo-fi aesthetic to the Weekend, more what the sound I'm talking about, the classic trilogy sound. I was one of
Yeah.
those guys. I'm like, oh, I was a fake ass Weekend pure, so I'd be like, I'd like that sound only.
No, I
But
respect that.
like Zach said, I was impressed with this album also. After Hours. I don't know if you guys want to just step into saying your favorite tracks. Who wants to lead that break for us?
I can go first.
All right, but
So basically, for my favorite track, one of my favorite tracks is "Snow Child." I feel like there was like a lot of dark parts in there. I mean, generally the whole song itself is very dark, but there was like a line where he says, "If I didn't make it, then I'd probably make my wrist bleed. Not to mislead, turn my nightmares into big dreams." So, like obviously with that, it's like very straightforward. Like the Weeknd speaks about like how he would have like self harmed if like he didn't make his like dreams into reality. But which I think is like a really like sad thing because like I feel like a lot of people think that way. Like they're just like, oh, if I can't make it in what I'm pursuing, then like what else is there for me? Like I might as well just end it all right there. So I mean, it's just a sad thing. Um,
yeah,
going,
I could just yeah,
yeah,
just adding on to that.
yeah,
I
yeah, of
remember
course,
I was talking to Zach off air about that track. Zach was like he wasn't really fucking with the lyricism and that, and I was just like, bro, like if you actually understand, the story of the weekend, him moving out of his house at 17 to live on his own, dropping out of college, I mean not of college, dropping out of high school, and essentially, dealing with like, so a little bit of homelessness here and there. I mean, that's what kind of builds up the character, Abel to become the Weeknd, and he was just giving a lot of about his come up process, and how his past life and his past vices, how he moved forward to success. And I thought that was one of the better storytelling tracks on the project as a whole.
No.
Did you change your mind, Zach? Or are you just still like
nah,
still not fucking with it? I mean, I can understand because he doesn't have that history or that past knowledge of how the Weeknd came up.
No, I can see that being like kind of like odd to him or whatever. But
I don't know. I don't really like his lyrics. I feel like he literally he has 3 beats and he just keeps remixing the same 3 beats. Like his songs all just sound the same to me. Like I don't know. Like I feel like it's 3 different songs over and over again.
Okay.
We could touch on more so on that on the overview. We'll let Zach be the headline for that one. But any more favorite tracks that you have off of that?
I have one more. It's called "Escape from LA," which is I think the song before that obviously is "Snow Child," so that kind of transitions into that. He says in the song, "They buy your bags and jewelry. They think your kindness is weak." And I think in that line, it's kind of like interesting because the men that buy her these things might think she's weak because of like how she like shows like her affection like towards them or whatever. But generally, I feel like it's really the other way around. Like the men are weak because she can basically like not control them, but like she can get whatever she wants without having to like spend like anything. You know what I'm saying? Like she just like has them like at the tip of her finger, kind of. So I mean, I just think that just like if you think about it from that perspective, it's just like she's not the weak one in the story.
Yeah.
So.
I fuck with Escape from LA. I'm not gonna lie. When I first heard it, I wasn't really fucking with Escape from LA too heavy because I kind of fucking hated the end. He's like, we're fucking in the studio, and I was like, this shit's kind of. He kept with that same refrain on and on and on and on, and I was like, fuck, man, he's just kind of fucking. He's for lack of a better word, beating the fuck out of this concept that he was doing towards the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
I felt he did have some storytelling about LA and LA's vices, but I felt like if he had sort of made a song about LA being a actual physical woman, and then he had that end of the track where he was just making love with LA in the studio.
No.
I felt like that would have made more sense conceptually, but overall, I mean, after a while of listening to it, I think maybe on my 3rd or 4th listen of the album, I'm like, nah, this isn't a bad track. I just don't like the ending of it. It's a good track though.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that? Were you fucking with the the Weeknd getting cheeks in the studio?
I don't know. I don't like his lyrics. Just don't stand out to me. I feel like what he's doing is just not special. I like his voice though. Like I think his voice is like amazing.
I think there's a lot of times where like he eerily. I mean, if you've listened to his past works, he eerily sounds like Michael Jackson a lot of the time.
Yeah.
A lot of the time vocally, and it's kind of haunting how much he sounds like him at times, bro. It's really fucking crazy.
But he's not on his level.
I mean, obviously he's not on fucking Michael Jackson's level, but
I'm saying universally.
Yeah, I feel like the Weeknd has a lot of fucking commercial success though. Like the Weeknd is fucking big, man. He's big. He's one of the heavy hitters, and he is one of the people I think, in my opinion, that originated the whole moody, like the moody alternative R&B aesthetic. Like a lot of people, he had to, the Weeknd had to walk so that Brent Faiyaz or like Party Next Door, or a majority of these other people like D-Pat or like I'm trying to think of more people. That's what's coming to my head. But more of these more moodier, R&B alternative artists could, so they could run. He had to walk so they could run. And I think get the fuck up, bro. Get the fuck out of here. But like just in general, I feel like the Weeknd, that's his, That's something that he birthed, and you got to give him credit for that.
I'm trying to think about that artist that Kalani put on. You know, me and you mess with him. He made the song "A Seat."
I mean, Aaron Ray. I feel like
He's nice. He's nice.
his shit
And
is like
yeah.
sort of moody. I was actually meaning to put that on one of my playlists. A seat. His shit is kind of moody, but like just I feel like the Weeknd's aesthetic is a lot more darker. I can even say I don't want to put this out there, but I feel like in a way I could see like you see how like Travis Scott has this whole like um dark aesthetic to his music where it's like moody, but it's like psychedelically moody. Like I could see that he could probably have taken something from the Weeknd and the Weeknd's aesthetic, or even Drake with the Take Care album. I feel like he definitely because obviously if none of you guys know this, the Weeknd has a ton of writing credits on that album, bro. And if you ask me,
I didn't know that. Yeah.
and if you ask me, I feel like the Weeknd and his sound definitely inspired that entire album for Drake, bro. Because I mean, Drake, he was touching on some shit, but he wasn't really touching on it like he did on that album. But yeah. Is there any favorite tracks that you have, Zach?
Number one, I'm gonna go with "Hardest to Love."
Yeah, Hardest to Love. I'm shocked you didn't have that, bro. That shit was fire, bro.
No, Hardest to Love. Yeah.
Hardest to Love is
Not the hook. Like, I don't really like this album that much, but that song, like the hook is mad catchy on it. So that's why I mess with it so much. Like, I'll be in the shower singing that shit, to be honest. And like, I feel like it kind of relates to me and my past relationships.
Okay.
Because I kind of am hard to love, to be honest, because people tell me I'm a little different. So I'm like, I'm not usually the boyfriends that you had in the past. Like, you're not used to me. If that makes sense.
Okay, yeah. I mean, like, obviously, it always makes a great track when you feel like you can relate to it personally. So that's what makes this whole thing like a beautiful experience. So.
Yeah. And I think the Weeknd, I mean, he does have a lot of relatability. I mean, his music sort of plays with that. I don't want to, for lack of a better word, it's like the After Hours theme of like if you are a partier, if you are someone that you do drink, and you do you like you like getting some coochie on the side, you like doing some things that you shouldn't be doing, sniffing a little bit of a little bit of blow, bro, and doing types of shit like that. Then I feel like this is a very the Weeknd's music and his aesthetic is very relatable and palatable to you.
I got a question for you, both of you. So, if a relationship doesn't work out for you and you're butthurt, would you rather listen to the trilogy or 2008 to 2010 Drake?
I think Take Care came out in 2011.
I mean, before that, he was dropping shit like brand new.
Like you mean like on some like Heartbreak Drake shit?
Yeah, who would you rather listen to after a breakup? That was my question.
If I'm just gonna be honest, like I would just rather listen to The Weeknd because I think The Weeknd just makes in terms of R&B, like I think The Weeknd like blows Drake out the fucking water when it comes to doing shit like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'd say I think I would go for The Weeknd, man, especially in my younger days because I feel like that's kind of like the type of time that I was more so on. But I would take them in that scenario, and I would take them if you try to get some songs for that playlist. If you gotta really, really give, hit a shorty with the strong strokes, you gotta put that Weeknd in your fucking playlist, man. That's what I'm saying.
Fine, crushing.
I bump Chief Keef when I'm in that.
Hey, man, whatever gets you through those hard times, I mean, like some people, like I kind of really don't do that anymore when it comes to like being a sad boy. Like I try not to go to like The Weeknd or like Drake's sad songs because like I just feel like it's kind of like
you listen to 21 Savage when you
or something to like something to pump me up. I feel like listening to sad songs, like I mean, yeah, it's comforting, but like it just like worsens the mood, like it just like I don't know. I'd rather not want to stay in that like mindset or that mood. Like I'd rather try to get myself like out of it.
Yeah.
So
you bumping FaceTime by 21 Savage?
Nah, and piggybacking off of what Paul said. Some of the shit Um, and piggybacking like off of what Zach also said, like a lot of the lyrics can be a bit fucking cliche as fuck, bro, and just like redundant on this. I mean, we can get in more into that with the overview, but I feel like it's certain shit that they say in these songs. You're just like, oh, come on, man, this sounds like some high school shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, do you have any other tracks that you're really fucking with off of this, Zach?
I'm gonna have to go. Repeat after me. I don't know. I thought that was like a really smooth song.
That fucking interlude, bro. That shit was hitting, bro. That shit was fire, bro.
It was smooth, bro. It was good.
I was fucking with that too, man. That was a good fucking interlude. I think he executed flawlessly on that one, man. That was a good fucking song.
Yeah, I was hooping when I first heard that song. I was like, okay.
Hooping, bro. Different, bro. You're different, bro.
Nah, I listen to everything when I'm hooping. Doesn't have to be like upbeat music. It could be whatever.
Nah, this is more so like, at least for me, like listening to this album. Today was the first time that I actually listened to it like in like the afternoon. Like I always would listen to this shit like late at night.
Yeah,
that is sinking out.
This type of music you have to.
Yeah,
like it's better. It's like a better listen at that time.
Yeah, and you get a little bit, like a mixed drink right next to you. It hit a little bit more.
Oh, thank you. Leave right there. All right, get up. Get up. Thank you.
Is that your girlfriend?
Yeah. No, it's my sister.
Bro, he's bugging. Is there any other songs that you're fucking with off of that?
I'm gonna say Too Late.
Too Late. Let me see. Too Late.
It was low-key a bop.
Too Late.
Yeah, man. I fuck with the vocal distortions that they had on it, man, and I think he was getting into a whole lot of retro wave sounds with it, a lot of synth pop.
The hook made you wanna do the electric slide.
Wow, you wild. But it's the album itself. It encapsulates like the Weeknd's darker mood music aesthetic, and there's gonna be a little bit of 80s 80s synth pop, as well as like new what's that shit retro wave sounds and shit like that. You're gonna get some electronic shit in there, like with Blinding Lights, and what's another song that had that shit on it? I'm trying to look.
What is it?
Fucking Hardest to Love. Yeah, Hardest to Love has a little bit of electronic sounds in there also. But is that all the tracks that you guys are fucking with?
Yeah, that's my top 3. Everything else was like mediocre to me. No, I don't think any song was bad. Like, I don't think there's any song be like, oh, like, turn this shit off. Like, every song is like, I'll let it play.
All right. So some of the songs that I had Hardest to Love, and I had Scared to Live. I felt like Hardest to Love, I feel like that's definitely like up there as, if I'd say arguably the best song on the entire album. I mean, if you're gonna take into account like Blinding Lights, which is obviously like a smash hit, but I was surprised that Hardest to Love wasn't his single. Felt like he was mostly like the song where the Weeknd doing regular Weeknd shit, blaming himself for his past relationship failures. And Scared to Live came right after Hardest to Love, and I felt like Hardest to Love was more so the party, and Scared to Live was more so waking up with that hangover. And I felt like those two were both they both fit well into each other, and kind of followed the same themes about Scared to Live was him convincing a lover who had post-traumatic experiences with their love and shit in the past, and a whole bunch of cliche Weeknd shit, him hurting women and him being toxic type shit.
Yeah.
I fucked with In Your Eyes. I thought that shit was mad fucking groovy. In Your Eyes. It was poppy as fuck though. It was, and a lot of these tracks are really pop.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie, like at my job we listen to just about everything, and I wasn't originally a fan of like pop music at any sort of capacity.
Yeah.
But we would listen to like 80s pop, as well as a whole myriad of different music. And I actually do like 80s pop. 80s pop is cool, man. And I like the the whole retro wave sound. So when he was getting his bag in the first couple of songs, I was like, I know where he's going with this shit.
I put you on to K-pop too. Don't forget that.
Nah, I don't fucking listen to no K-pop.
That's like,
miss me with that. And I got repeat after me the interlude, like Zach said. I thought that shit was nice, man. It encapsulated just a void. And I mean that in a very as good as a way. Like he set the mood perfectly with that.
mhm.
I fucked with After Hours. I felt like After Hours, if you do like that classic weekend sound, After Hours being the title track of the album itself, I think it really encapsulated that. I thought, Until I Bleed Out and, Nothing Compares, I think those were off the bonus tracks. No, Until I Bleed Out, I think that was the last song. I felt like, just everything from Repeat After Me, After Hours, and Until I Bleed Out gave you more classic weekend vibes, and it all kind of fit well. And I fucked with Nothing Compares. That was off the deluxe, and I thought that was a really good song too. But overall, I mean, I have a lot of songs that I do like off of this. But we're gonna get into the songs that we weren't fucking with off of this project. Do you guys just want me to lead with that one?
I'll go. I'll go. For the least favorite tracks, I would say "Blinding Lights." It was like you said, like overall, like the overall. I know you said like the album is very poppy, which is like, I guess fine, but for like the weekend, like it's just kind of like no, I just found it very corny. Like, I mean, it did give you like an old schoolish taste, hence the '80s pop vibe.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just something that like I wouldn't really go back to in my free time to listen. Like, just the lyrics were kind of like mediocre to me, and yeah, I don't know.
No, I feel you on that. I feel like the '80s pop stuff, like it is relatively a safe sound that he's going for on this. I
Mm.
feel like if you are a weekend purist and you do enjoy the more darker music that he puts out, like this won't appeal to you as much. But I'm not gonna say that Blinding Lights was one of my favorite tracks off the project itself, but um the shit is a pop banger. And I mean I didn't expect this to be, but like in the same sense, like I can understand why it's a big ass song. Um and I respect the track itself.
Yeah.
Anything else you got?
Um, for lastly, I put "Save Your Tears." I felt like it was very sappy. Um,
Yeah, Saber
like
Tears was whack.
yeah, like
That was whack.
I was gonna
like
say that.
just like the sound like of like it in general. It's just like I wasn't really fucking with it. Like one of the lines in the songs, he says, "You could have asked me why I broke your heart. I could have told you. I could have told you could have told me why it fell apart." And it's just like, bro, like like if you broke a heart, like you like not gonna care. Like why are you reaching? Like let her be. She clearly moved on after you did whatever the heck you did. Like so it's just like it's over. Like he's like I think in the next line after that he was like, oh, like I see you in person and like you just kind of ignore me, and it's just like I would too, especially if you broke my heart. Like I have nothing to say to you. Like I mean yeah, she's probably curious as to like why you did what you did. But like she like obviously had time and she like moved on and like she's over it. Like like she's just a grown woman. She don't have time for games. You fucked up, and it's just like now you up here making a song. Like like
Nah, the weekend, he be gaming these
nah, of
female
course, of
stuff.
course.
So, but I thought the song was whack too, bro. I can't even hold you. I didn't really fuck with that song. I did fuck with a lot of the '80s sounding songs on this, but I wasn't fucking with Save Your Tears. Do you have anything else?
Nah, that's about it.
What about you, Zach?
I mean, Save Your
Oh damn,
Tears.
you saw that head
No.
nod.
Save Your Tears was bad. I didn't like After Hours. I feel like he kind of dragged it. I don't know. I feel like it's a long song for no reason. He wasn't even saying anything too crazy on it. It's just the same basic lyrics he's always doing about relationships, all that. It just wasn't for me. I feel like what he does has been done before. I wouldn't say better, but like it just doesn't sound new to me. I
Yeah.
feel like
Yeah,
I'm listening.
which
I
is
feel like
which
I'm
is
listening to a mainstream song I listened to like 2016 or any recent year. Like,
which is the crazy thing about it too is the fact that this is a question that I do have for the overview, but I'm gonna say it now. Like when he does eventually become older, it starts to make me think like what like what is he gonna do that's gonna be new in terms of the content? Because there's only for so long that you can keep running with this whole like dark. I'm not good for you. You're not. I bring the horrible qualities out of you, and there's only for he can only do this for so long.
Yeah.
Because I
I
mean,
feel like
once you start hitting them late 30s to 40s, bro, niggas gonna be looking at you different, bro. If you still out here
Like
just
you still out here
being
going
being a
hard,
being a
right?
I
being a
think
fucking scallywag type dude, bro. You feel me?
I think the weekend, like his like day one fans are still gonna mess with it heavy.
Yeah.
Cause if you think about it now, people that grew up listening to like Jadakiss, they still like the people still
just
listen to his new.
mad random artists, bro. Just Jadakiss
No,
working
I'm
that right
saying like he's an old head. He's been in the game for a long time. The people around his age that grew up listening to him as he was growing up too, like people still listen to Jadakiss's music, and
Oh,
he kind of has the same bars, but just wording it differently, and people are still messing with him. But I'm saying diehard fans, like day one fans. The Weeknd doesn't have to do anything different. He just needs to word his shit differently, but still the same content.
there. Yeah. Just the question that I had is just like, how is he gonna mature with the character himself, the Weeknd, moving forward in the future? Like, for an example, I know this isn't really within the same stretch, but like an artist like Jay-Z with 444, it's a lot more mature content on that,
yeah.
or even in a written testimony, like the content and what he's talking about is a lot more mature than his past work. It just, I have the question for him. It's just like, I understand that he's going for a more mainstream poppy sound with this album, and it is very accessible. I feel like you can put a majority of these songs in the whip with anybody. It could be your fucking your mom, just like your coworkers or some shit like that. Like
Yeah.
motherfuckers,
Something like
this shit is easily accessible, but the overall undertones of the music and the dark aesthetic, I just want to know how long is he going to be able to milk
the
that?
whole, yeah,
Well,
the whole stuff.
I should have used Usher as an example.
Yeah,
But Usher changed though. Like he was more kind of soulful, kind of back in the '90s. Now he's more poppy. So I feel like the Weeknd is kind of gonna adapt to whatever is gonna be new in the
yeah,
future.
I feel like every artist should do that. Honestly, try to like step out of their like norm, just to switch things up. Because if you keep things
yeah,
the same, like it just gets like boring. Like you can't have
yeah.
the same flow on like every song that you put out. It's just like people are gonna be
Damn,
like, okay, like I
damn,
heard.
damn, the
Yeah,
baby felt that, bro.
yeah, exactly. That's exactly who I was aiming for. Like I love the baby, but like he just gotta switch it up. Uh,
And I'm not even like, this is like going extremely off topic, but this is the same kind of way that I feel about Champagne Poppy. This is how I feel about Aubrey, man. I feel a lot of the times when it comes to Drake's music,
it
you're
just sounds.
getting the same content that you're getting from Drake since fucking the Thank Me Later days, bro. I feel like the same content you're getting from him, you're gonna get braggadocious Drake. I feel like he kind of put the whole new Jafaican Drake in there also, and then
Hmm.
he has the simp Drake, and it's just like I kind of know what it is, and I kind of know what to expect content wise from Drake with his new album because I feel like he's when is he going to do that evolution as an artist to step out of those same boundaries that he's used to?
No.
But that's for a whole nother topic. We can get into some musical debates in the future. But if I have some songs that are those all the songs that you have, Zach, that you didn't fuck with?
Pretty much. Like I didn't really hate on anything on this album.
Yeah, same here. I didn't really hate on anything in this album. I didn't like Save Your Tears. I thought that was
I thought that made me cringe a little.
Yeah,
yeah, I felt like
definitely.
he was milking the pop out of that as much as possible. I wasn't really fucking with Save Your Tears. Faith, I wasn't really messing with either, and I know that was a lot. That was another '80s, pop style song too, but I wasn't really messing with it. But for the majority of these tracks, I thought they were all palatable music. I wouldn't say like throwaways were on this or anything. Like I felt like everything was pretty decent for the most part. The only song that I kind of cringed at too, and I feel like most people won't cringe at it. I thought Heartless was fucking cringy, bro. And it's
Yeah.
funny too, because when I listened to it, I was like, I told Zach, like, this was upon my first listen. I'm like, oh, this shit's like low key a fucking banger, and it is a banger.
It is.
But just like,
is it too repetitive? Is it too repetitive?
It's cheesy, bro. That shit sounds cheesy.
It sounds literally
good,
like a song he's made before multiple times.
Yeah. I'm just like, bro, I'm not like, it just sounded cheesy, bro. It just sounds, what is the word that I'm looking for? He just sounds on that song like he's being edgy for the sake of being edgy.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it's just kind of not believable. Like, like his edginess sounded a bit gimmicky on that.
His that Heartless is like the kind of style he used on that song is kind of the style he uses on all of his features.
So yeah,
to be like trendy.
To a certain aesthetic, I agree with you on that.
He brought that same energy.
But don't get me wrong. If I'm in the club, and bottle service just pulls up and that fucking beat drops, that shit's gonna hit. But
definitely gonna bump in the clubs.
But just as being a music critic, as we do on this podcast, like I thought it was a little bit cheesy. I thought it was a little bit gimmicky. All right, so I think we got the three our least favorite tracks off of that. Now we can just go straight into the overview. Does anyone want to take it away with the overview, or do you guys want me to take over? Because I've been saying some shit already that's been kind of bleeding into it.
I mean, basically, just to I'll do it. So basically, for the overview, I think like it was an okay album. It wasn't my favorite, like I think my last favorite like thing from the weekend is Starboy, which you guys really don't like, but I mean, it's okay.
I mean, I'd say I really don't like it now. Don't get me wrong. I said it's a good album. I wasn't like,
Oh, it just wasn't your fan. You were your favorite? Okay. Yeah, it just I don't know. This album was okay. It's not something I would really like go back and listen to. Like, it's just personally my opinion. Maybe like 2 songs or 3, but that's about it. It was okay.
Zach, you got your overview on it, just your just your thoughts as a whole on the album.
I think it's a very mediocre album. Like two or 3 songs really stand out, but there's no really bad song. Like nothing was bad. So like it's a solid album. I'm not gonna go. There's like 2 or 3 songs I go back to, but it's not like when an artist drops a really good album and like for a month you're just bumping the shit out of it and then getting tired of it. Like I'm already tired of it.
It's I don't know, man. I said before, like I like 80s pop, but like I feel like it was just too much in this album for me from the weekend. So
okay. So my overall, my overview of the album itself, I do have to, give respect to, Abel on that shit. I think he did his thing. I felt like, the 80s pop, I felt like that was, a safe route for him to go in, because he does have previous songs like I Can't Feel My Face When I'm With You and Starboy, where he is sort of playing around with that, that particular sound. He kind of just went all in on it this project, but he still gives you a little bit of sprinkles of just like vintage weekend type shit on it. But just overall,
his voice
is just
his voice makes up for his mediocre lyrics.
I feel like his lyrics are mediocre and at times they can be very fucking cliche. And a lot of this album, like you guys had said previously, like it does kind of sound repetitive, and like the themes that are going on, you feel like you're listening to the same you kind of feel like you're listening to the same shit on spin cycle, for lack of a better words. But I gotta give him his credit. I think he did a bit of production on this album. I think that the production was fucking crisp on this. The synth pop was great. I felt like his vocal performance was good on this album also. I can't really fault him for anything there vocally. There's not like a song here that I think is like a complete, just dog shit on this album. Like there isn't a song like that. I feel like for the most part, everything is rather decent on here. Just to the, it's just sometimes the sounds could get repetitive and it can be cringy a bit. But Just overall, man, I thought it was a decent album, man. I did mess with the retro wave and 80s pop sound that he had on here. But I felt like you guys said, it could get repetitive, and I actually had something off the top of the dome, but I actually forgot what I was gonna say. I mean, I just gotta give him respect. He carried the whole album with no features. I thought it was solid, but it was safe. It was safe. It was a very safe album for him to do. And in terms of his content, I kind of just want to see him evolve, and I kind of want to see what does he have,
Absolutely.
for the future. I don't think he can, remain in this lane forever. Like, he's going to have to evolve as an artist. I think the sound that he did wasn't so much an evolution of him, but I think it
Hmm.
was more so something that he was dabbling with already, and then he kind of just went all in on it. So, do you guys have your letter grades for this project?
Yeah, I give it a C.
I give
Damn,
it
it's
a B minus. I give it a
flat
B minus.
C, my nigga. Damn.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. It just wasn't hitting me that way, you know.
Damn, you wasn't fucking with the '80s, were you? Nah. I give this shit a
Not
B,
with him.
man. I give this shit a B, man. I think this is it's a good project. I don't see there's nothing fundamentally flawed. I'd give this a B going on to a B plus. There's nothing fundamentally flawed with this album at all. I feel like just in terms of the lyrics can get a bit repetitive. It could be a bit cliche. Um, and it is a bit fucking safe, and it is really poppy. And I feel like if poppy is not your sound, I'm not really much of a pop guy either. That's why I don't want to give it a B plus. But I give it a B though, a B going on to a B plus. This is one of the better things that we've reviewed, just on this channel as a whole. I'd say this and the Brent Faiyaz album are probably like the two best projects that we reviewed, in general. This is a B, man. I give it a solid B. A B pushing towards a B plus for me.
Yeah, I still support the weekend, so you know.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't hate him.
Paul's like, I ain't getting no spine breaking music on this weekend. What's going what's going on, man? What's going on? But yeah, so as a group total, you said B minus. I have a B, and then you have a C. If I'm trying to average that out, um, I would say like a B minus as a
Mhm.
group grade would work. Because I said it's a B minus going on to a B plus for me, so I guess it would average out to like a B minus.
Yeah,
Which I think, yeah, it's a fitting grade. I don't think this is a bad album at all. Um, yeah. So I think we're gonna post a poll. I don't know if you guys want us to do a Party Next Door album review or to do a Rod Wave album review. Maybe we can just do both and we could just sequence them because we're a little bit behind on P&D. And we just want to let all the fans know. I mean, we were kind of, we kind of slacked with the music reviews and stuff like that, but we're definitely gonna pick that back up. We kind of just wanted to get into just a groove with recording,
yeah,
remotely type shit. And I felt like we're kind of hitting our stride with that right now. So we're gonna be, just trying to put out more content for you guys on that level. But yeah, do you guys have any more concluding thoughts on this?
no, yeah. I'm glad that we definitely stepped back into album reviews. You know, hopefully we stay consistent and we just keep up with the videos. You know, I know we got like a little shaky because of the stuff that's going on, but I mean, like we're still going strong, in my opinion. You know, so we're doing good. Hopefully,
Any?
yeah.
I was gonna
No, no,
say my bad. I
no,
was
no,
gonna
go
say,
ahead.
does Zach have any concluding thoughts? I thought you were done. My bad.
No, it's good.
Uh, I saw something on Twitter saying they said put The Weeknd's voice over Party Next Door's album, and that shit would have been 10 times better. Some shit like that.
Yeah, so
As,
I feel like there's gonna be a lot of weekend, purists, man, that they love that trilogy sound. They love what's the name of that album again, man? How could I fucking forget? They're gonna like that, Beauty Behind the Madness kind of sound too. That are gonna be like, yo, like not really, vibing with this synth pop that he's got going on here. But I feel like he's gonna reach a lot of people with this, man. I feel like a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people are tapped into the weekend, bro. He's nothing. I feel like this is music that I feel like no matter what the age range is, like they'll be able to, vibe with it, and it's safe. It's a very safe album in my opinion.
It's funny that you say that, Zach, because I saw a poll on Instagram where it was just like, do you prefer The Weeknd's new album or P&B's? And a lot of people said The Weeknd, and I was like, damn. So,
All right, man. So P&D, that's definitely the next music review that we're gonna do, and then we'll get into Rod Wave next on that. So yeah, man. Thank you for all the love, all the support. Just let us know what your thoughts are. You can either hit us in the DM at Close Your Mouth Podcast. Let us know. I think we're gonna post a poll.
Yeah.
Just get everyone to see whose I guess opinion that they fucked with the most on here or something. Just try to get some more fan interaction. But where you can find me at KEVLUVX. That's on IG, Spotify, Apple Music, playlist every week. And you can definitely get us as a collective on the at Close Your Mouth Podcast on IG. You guys want to plug your socials?
Yeah, you can follow me at PAULIIE 2137 on IG, and just drop a comment below on YouTube and let us know what you think. And thank you for tapping in.
My IG's just Flexer Productions. I don't think I need to spell that out. And just leave us a comment. Tell us what you guys think. The more comments, the better. Even if it's bad or good, we want to know what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong. So, your opinion matters.
Yeah.
On that note, I think it's as good as any to conclude the podcast. So, thanks for tuning in. Have a good week.
Thank you, fans.